off of me. But watch this, the third step to cure. If we're going to cure our discouragement, we're going to get cure for our burnout. Watch what Elijah did in verse 9. The text says, I shared with you, verse 9 says, then, verse 5, I'm sorry, chapter 19, then as he lay, what did he do? He went to sleep under a broom tree. Suddenly an angel touched him and said, arise, get you something to eat. Now, I shared this morning that Elijah, watch this, did not set out to refresh himself. And that's my third point. See, if we're going to get cure for our discouragement, not only must you recognize your condition where you are, not only must you release that thing, but then you got to learn how to refresh yourself. Get you some rest. Watch this. Now Elijah didn't set out to refresh himself because the text says he ran to the wilderness out of desperation. And that is a way, discouragement tends to work, because when we get frustrated, let's tell the truth, we just run. When you get discouraged and frustrated, we run. We don't know where we're going. We just know, I'm leaving, I'm out of here. We run because we're frustrated. But watch this. His frustration took him to the wilderness. And discouragement tends to build sometimes until you can't stand it and you just run wherever you got to run. But it took him to a place where he can get refreshed. And I shared this morning that when frustration, discouragement, burnout steps in, instead of just running, back off sometime and say, you know what? I got to get me some rest. I got to take me a vacation before I blow a fuse. See, because sometimes we wait to blow the fuse and then we just run. And we run and don't know where we're going, and sometimes we crash. But before you crash, sometimes you want to back off and say, you know what? I got to take me a few days off, because I'm like a time bomb ready to explode. It's almost like when you go to, you ever been to counseling, you ever been to those conflict resolution classes, they teach you. Somebody make you mad, you about to blow up, you better just start and say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold on, 9, 10. You got to get to a good count. Think about it. Or they teach you sometimes just say, I'll be right back, and walk out. Because if I don't walk out, I can't be responsible for what I'm about to do. Because I'm about to blow up in here. And if we're honest, all of us have been to that point. Sometimes spiritually, where I'm burnt out. Financially, I just can't, my mind just, and what the text says, listen, sometimes you got to refresh yourself. Get away. Get you a vacation. Take you a week off and do you. I told the church this morning that some of the best time is me time. When the last time you had you some real me time? See, we're trying to do everybody else's time, but you got to get you some me time. Sometimes you got to take a break from being mom and daddy. That's where you got godparents. You got all these Negroes stand up here on when it's time to christen the baby, and you don't use them. You better call them. Call a grandmama, call somebody, and sometimes you need to just get away to get your mind together, get your thoughts together, get your hair done, get your nails done, take a little time, go shopping for yourself, just you. Ain't nothing personal with people, but sometimes you got to just get you together, and until you learn how to get you together, you'll be no good for nobody else. Sometimes we wonder why relationships ain't working, things ain't working. It ain't always the other person. Sometimes it's you. You need to get with you and get you together. When the last time you spent some time with you? Touch your neighbor and say, get you together. Get you some me time. Get by yourself and say, guess what? We need, and every now and then, while you're doing your me time, talk to yourself, caress yourself, rub yourself, tell yourself how good you look. Look in the mirror. You don't need nobody to affirm you. Affirm yourself. You don't need nobody to touch you. Oh, help me, preacher. You better learn how to touch your. Anybody ever learn how to touch yourself? You better learn how to sometime get together and do you. Touch your neighbor, tell him, I don't need nobody to rub me, because I know how to rub me and rub the right spot on me to make. Oh, help me, preacher. I'm trying to be real. I wish I had somebody who could say, I know the right spot to touch to make me feel like I want to feel. You want to feel good? Make yourself feel good. Some of the best feeling is not when somebody else touch me. It's when I touch me. Because can't nobody rub me. Help me preach up in here. Can't nobody rub me like I rub me. I like you, baby, but you can't do it like I can do it. Tell your neighbor, get you some you time. We spend too much time trying to rely on other people. Do you, baby? Touch your neighbor and say, do you sometime. Do you sometime. You got to learn how to love you. You want somebody else to love you? Love yourself. Ask your neighbor a question. Do you love you? Do you love you? Well, act like you love you. Treat yourself like you love you. Tell your neighbor, get yourself together. Yeah, get yourself together. Do act like you love you. Because can't nobody do you like you. But some of us don't love ourselves. Got low self-esteem. That's why people just settle for anything. Allow people to do them any kind of way. Because you don't love yourself. How you let a man treat you just any kind of way. Say anything to you. Sleeping with you and her and you know it. And you don't care because you just want him that bad. And you want her that bad. And when you going to care about you? And I'm trying to be real up in here. When you love me and you ain't gonna do me like that any kind of way, because before you dog me, I can dog my own self. Listen, baby, I ain't gonna let you to treat me any kind of way, because I love me too much to let you treat me just any kind. Touch your neighbor, tell her, you better wake up, baby. You better get yourself together and get it right. I wish this was the women's conference. I got a word up in here. Listen, oh God Almighty, you gotta listen. Ain't a whole lot of men, so let me talk to the women, because listen, you gotta, at some point, you gotta love you. Do some things for you. When the last time you took yourself shopping? For you, just for you. Yeah, for you. When the last time you just laid in the bed and slept all day and didn't clean the house and didn't have to play Miss Maid and cook no food and just say, I'm going to take a minute out because I just need a me break for a minute and get me